Isn't that the Hampton Beach area? Okay, so Stanley's house was the furthest north one was a double lot. Sold about that.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners Tuesday, October 30th, 5:30 p.m. meeting. If I would please ask that everyone rise and join for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Just some house cleaning items. If anyone has a cell phone on them, please put it on vibrate or silent. If you do need to make a phone call, you could please take it out in the foyer. We would appreciate that. Then that will bring us to our first open public forum. Open public forum is an opportunity for anyone in attendance to come forward for 3 minutes, address the board for anything that is not on our printed agenda this evening. So we'll do 3 calls for that. Anyone wishing to come and participate in our first of 2 open public forums, please come forward. Second call. Third and final call for anybody wishing to participate in our first of 2 open public forums. Seeing no one wishing to participate, we'll close our first open public forum, and now we'll move to hearing item number 4, which is a public hearing which was continued from October 23rd to tonight, October 30th. And it looks like we'll have a short presentation from Chad Coles, our county engineer.
Hopefully incredibly short. Chad Coles, Spokane County Engineer. This is a newly constructed road in the Platte out in the West Plains, just south of Hallett Road. I wish we had a little bigger picture of it, but there's a continuation of this Platte to the south. Because it's outside the urban boundary, the federal aid urban boundary, the underlying speed limit on a rural local access road is 35 miles per hour, paved. This one's paved. The traffic code revision before you today is to adjust this down to a normal urban 25 mile an hour speed limit in a local access roadway. Any questions?
Okay, this is a public hearing item, so anybody wishing to testify on hearing item number 4, please come forward. Second call. Third and final call for anybody wishing to testify on public hearing item number 4. Seeing no one wishing to testify, we'll close the public hearing, and I will look to my fellow commissioners for a motion.
Just raise your hand. Sorry, just getting ready to go. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to move to approve revising Spokane County Traffic Code number 46.61.4155.2 to establish a speed limit on Chimani Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. That brings us to hearing item number 5, which was also continued from our original Tuesday, October 23rd hearing, and another presentation from Chad Coles.
This is a proposed vacation in the Honeymoon Bay area of Newman Lake. We're kind of all Newman Lake tonight, except for traffic code revisions. And this is a parcel that was dedicated in the Honeymoon Bay Platte as a tract A strip. I've reviewed the parcel, and it's unestablished right-of-way. No road has been built on it. Right-of-way is approximately 30 feet wide by 100 feet long. The current use has no road on it. There is some parking lot or driveway associated with this right in here. And let's see, there's no future right-of-way need for the road, as we see a road going into this area. It's pretty built out and contained. It provides access only to this property right here, which is the continued ownership. And I'm recommending that we vacate this section of roadway. Does the board have any questions?
Okay. This is also a public hearing item, so anybody wishing to testify on hearing item number 5, please come forward. Second call. Third and final call for anybody wishing to testify on public hearing item number 5. Seeing no one wishing to testify, we'll close the hearing, and I will look to my fellow commissioners for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to approve the vacation of a portion of Track A of Honeymoon Bay between parcels 56101.023 and 56105.9024, County Engineers Road File number 1527.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. That brings us to hearing item number 6, which was also continued from October 23rd, 2018. And we'll start with a presentation from Chad Coles.
So the last hearing on tonight's agenda that I'm aware of, at least, is the Newman Lake Flood Control Zone budget. And let's get into it just a little bit. Here's a summary of the budget as it's proposed right now. The proposed budget has, let me get into kind of the directions of the budget. It has a 57% increase in milfoil aquatic weed management expenditure over the last year's budget. Has a 19% increase in both the cost of electricity and in alum injection into the lake to improve water quality above this year's budget. And it has a 100% increase in the equipment maintenance line item in the budget to better take care of the equipment out there. In order to cover those costs, there's a downside in terms of that. In terms of there's a 12% decrease in the cost of water quality monitoring. We're hoping to cover that with a new process that Colleen and her staff have put together where they do the water quality monitoring in-house with the help of WSU, not so much relying completely on WSU, which we hope will have a reduction in costs there. There's been a 1% increase in staff labor costs. I'm sorry, I should have included that on the other side of the line, but there has been just in terms of labor cost increases, we've gotten a raise over the last year, so those costs went up 1%. And we are also proposing a 6.9% increase in assessments over the previous year. In general, that's the direction of the budget. You can see in the presentation up above or on the screen that reserves will come down just a little bit. We're paying for some of the increase in service with some of the reserves out there that we're holding, $22,000 of that. The expenditures are holding very much the same over the last 3 years. Total expenditures went from 317 down to 308, and this year we're projecting a 300,000, and this is going back up to the 308. Very much a flat line in terms of expenditures. So with that, I'll open ourselves up to questions.
So if I'm reading this correctly, the total income that will be brought in from this is actually less than it was in 2017. 2017 actual, correct?
That's the way I'm reading it. Is
Okay.
that correct, Colleen?
So
I
it
got
has
that
gone
one
down.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
And this was what was the vote of the AB board?
Let me bring Colleen up. Colleen Little was working, our Newman Lake Flood Control Zone
Okay.
manager. She was working directly with the AB board.
Colleen Little, Environmental Programs and Floodplains Manager. I've worked with the advisory board since May, back and forth, probably 6 to 8 iterations with the advisory board, and there's several of them here today. My understanding is that we are all on the same page, and it's been vetted, and I believe they're approving the budget as stands.
All right, any additional questions? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, this is also a public hearing item, so we do have some individuals who have signed up ahead of time, filled out the yellow sheets, so we will start with them. So first up, we have Tom Stebbins. Tom, if you could state your name and address for the record, and then I'll start your timer for 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Tom Stebbins, North 12428 West Newman Lake Drive. I support the budget increase and the tone of how the change has been with new leadership within the county. So I thank you for that, and then the engagement of the commissioners. The only conclusion I have, which has been really the 10 years I've really paid attention to Newman Lake, is 770 people are paying that amount. And that's really the fundamental problem. It's a public lake. Multiple people use it. And a petition effort occurred 2 years ago. We're still dilly-dallying around that I can tell of definitive action, and I just think it's time that we start moving forward on things that, which is the fundamental problem of too few people paying. So I support where we're going, and I'm trusting that those things are in motion, but it's not crystal clear to the community exactly what that is at this point. So hopefully that becomes clearer as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Karen Stebbins.
Thank you. Karen Stebbins, 12428 Northwest Newman Lake Drive. Just want to say hi, and I am the chair of the advisory board. And it's been an interesting year. It's been a great year. We've been meeting, past boards have met 4 times a year. We are meeting almost every 2 weeks. You may think we're crazy. We are crazy, but we're a group that we're working really well together. We have different viewpoints, but we're working well together. We see things that haven't been done by past boards or county staff, and we want to pitch in and help because we believe in Newman Lake and keeping it healthy and want it to move forward. You also have a new administrator in Colleen who's been phenomenal to work with. There's nothing off limits with her. If we throw something at her, she goes, let me see how we can make that work, or if we can make that work. And that's how the budget process has been too. We did not approve the budget until just today. I finally got all the votes back via email, and we support the budget. We don't really support the increase because of what Tom just said too. There's still 770 people paying for the care of the lake that the public uses. And you know, it's continuing to fall on our shoulders, and it still isn't taking care of a lot of our issues. If we have equipment that's breaking down or water quality, we're just kind of maintaining and treading water. And so we really do need to expand our base. And I know our community is frustrated and wants some action or answers on the petition process. Everyone, those who support it, which a large share of the community do, even those who don't support it are wondering what the heck is going on. And so it would be great to see some action from you in that direction. And I know it's in process. And just like Tom said, the way we're working together in a positive manner is very encouraging and has not been done in all the years that I have been around the advisory board. And we want to make a real point to be positive in our interactions with the county and with Colleen. And you've got a good person to put you in that direction. And I also want to say thank you to Ron, because he came in early to our advisory board meetings and helped us set up with bylaws and ways to act with Robert's Rules of Order, and it's been a huge help. But let me just look at my notes. But it's really, that's really it. We support it. We support the whole process. We don't really support an increase. Our proposed budget was a 0% increase. The very first budget we saw was $300,000. We've compromised and we've worked and gotten it to where it is. So I just would like to say thank you. Appreciate your support. I know you guys now know Newman Lake more than you ever have before, and just would appreciate your support moving forward and any actions to help us expand the tax base, help us get more people than just the few of us paying for the lake. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Kim Wellington.
Hello, my name is Kim Wellington, and I live at 12915 North Park, Newman Lake, Washington. I'm here, I don't exactly know how to put this, but I looked up my taxes, and for my property, which is on the west lake side, and the AV tax is $6,854. The flood tax is $1,263 on my property. If you do 6% increase on that, that's $75. That is more than Mr. Alton pays for his tax on this same item across the lake with twice the value of my house. Please let that sink in. You would not have to do an assessment if you cleaned up the mess with the tax assessment. I had that conversation with you 3 years ago, Commissioner Cooney, when you came out to Newman Lake to the Moab, one of the Moab meetings. This is I'm a board member of one of the homeowners associations, or a past board member, and we have looked at this and shake our heads wondering what's going on. Why would the east side of the lake have such a difference than the west side of the lake? Shouldn't be. And our committees and people from my community went to state to change the law, put up the time to do the petition, and still no action has been taken. None, as far as the community is concerned. And now you're asking for a $75 increase in my tax on this issue. Please consider going to a simple solution. The simple solution is go to the tax formula for schools. Do a percentage of what the school value, tax value is, and make that the tax for this issue. That's very simple. The values of the property would be straight up. They're already established in that formula. And boom, now you've got a fair tax. It could be done simple as that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Right. Next we have Dennis Rewinkle, and I see Sherry is giving you her 3 minutes. So, Dennis, if you'd state your name and address, and I will adjust this, and you'll have your 6 minutes.
All right. My name is Dennis Rewinkle. I reside at 13604 North Peninsula Drive at Newman Lake. Karen and Tom have done pretty well with the compliments, so I'll take those out of my presentation. This is the 4th year I've stood at this podium before you asking for help. You are the legislative authority for the Newman Lake Flood Control District. You need to take some action and resolve the gross disparities we continue to have in the district assessments. The burden of the state-owned public lake to widen that 770 base to a wider population. The budget isn't the issue, it's who pays for the budget that's the issue, and you've heard that already from everybody in front of me. I'm going to once again show you the same pictures that I've shown you for the last 4 years so that you can actually see the effects of your last 4 years' efforts. Here's a house that's valued at $416,000 and he pays $79. Here's a house valued a little more than half that at $238. He pays $567 a year. Here's a house that's valued at $590,000 and he pays $182. If I go down, here's a house that's worth $500,000. He pays $119. It's been this way for 4 years, and I'm hoping you're seeing a trend here. If I go on down, here's another house, $920,000 in a value by the assessor. He pays $240. Here's one worth $600,000 or 2/3 of that, and they pay $1,421. Okay, I'm hoping that you can see the effect you've had on this in the last 4 years. Nothing. There's been nothing changed on this in 4 years that I've stood at this podium, and nothing has changed the 2 decades before that. Here again this year, you have waterfront homes of a similar value, but one is assessed at a value 10 times greater than one of equal value across the lake. With the proposed 6.9% increase for 2019 that you have before you here tonight, you're raising the assessment of one property owner more in one single year than the $500,000 house down the street on the lakefront pays in an annual assessment. This board told my community in 2015 that we had to change the law. So we went to Olympia and we did that with Senate Bill 5543. Then you had your legal staff, who was clearly ignorant of the breadth of the problem, prepare our petition for us. Now you delay while you try to interpret that out-of-date 1937 text that was used to compose that petition. My community's heard your rhetoric and your supportive intentions to help us, but you have accomplished nothing. While relations between the district staff and community have improved, as you've heard here tonight, and I certainly agree with that, the district still struggles to maintain the equipment that is operating, repair the equipment that's been out of specifications for years, and continues to neglect the inflow of nutrients into the lakes that so negatively influences our water quality. The board clearly does not, in my community, show any priority of this issue. Commissioner O'Quinn previously told the community that while unable to help finance the district, the county would find a way to pay the $30,000 for the reevaluation of the assessment methodology to fix this problem. This was reinforced by Commissioner Kern's office, who reaffirmed that commitment to my community. Now you have reneged on that commitment as well, and now you show that $30,000 as a loan to my community. You're not just not moving forward, you're going backwards. The next petition that my community will bring to you will not be written by your council. And it will certainly be more extensive in text than the one you have before you, and I'll assure you that it will not be vague. All in all, this is a pretty sad testament on an issue that the community was led to believe you supported and understood the frustration that we've had for the last 20 years of inaction and neglect by this board. As a legislative authority, I would again encourage you to actually do something. Resolve this decades-old engineering. 4 years? Come on, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, is there anyone else wishing to testify on hearing item number 6? Second call for anybody wishing to testify. Third and final call for anybody wishing to testify on public hearing item number 6. Seeing no one wishing to testify, we'll close the hearing. I will look to my fellow commissioners for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to the matter concerning to approve, isn't it, the budget for the 2019 Newman Lake Flood Control Zone District.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner French?
So I do want to address one of the things that Dennis said in his statement, and that is the commitment with regard to the $30,000 to pay for the appraisal. I think that was the intent as we were going into this, and as we went through the legal challenges of how to do that, found out that it would constitute a gift, which is a violation of Washington state law. And so we thought, well, how do we still transfer the money to pay for the appraisal so that we can reestablish some kind of more equitable distribution of the burden, and not make it an immediate cost to the residents out at Newman Lake. And so it is now a long-term loan to try and provide the financial resources necessary to do the appraisals. Without that, then it's another assessment to the property owners that are already carrying a disproportionate burden. So it's a way to try and find a way to go forward. It's not a way to renege on a commitment that was originally made. As we got into it, we found out that it would constitute a gift and it would be a violation of state law. So I don't want you to think that our commitment to the organization, to finding a solution, has wavered. From my standpoint, I've sat here and listened to this for 7 years now, and I would love to have the Newman Lake residents be in control of this and have the county out of it. And so I'm committed to try and find a way to make that happen. I know that there was some confusion with regard to the petitions. We're working our way through it. But as I told staff today, and they are here so they can bear witness to my comment, I do not want to be here doing this next year. I'd like to be able to see you guys standing on your own with your own organization, with your reassessment in place so that you guys can move forward and feel like there's a greater degree of equity out there than you currently have. So, so I just wanted to put that on the record for you. Thank you. Yep.
Joshua.
Commissioner CUNY.
And I will just echo what Commissioner French said. You know, I've just been here a year, so this is my second time to hear, and I know that that has been what we've all been wanting to make happen, is to get these assessments taken care of. So I know the process is not as quick as everyone would like, but it is I still say it is our commitment that going forward that this gets taken care of. So like I said, I echo what Commissioner French said.
Yeah, both my seatmates have pretty much said it all. It is a part of the discussions we're having. We fully intend to have those new assessments put in place that were a part of that Senate bill that passed in Olympia, the petitions that were filed. It is our complete intention to have that done in 2019. All right, so if there are no more comments, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 The motion passes unanimously. All right, this brings us to item number 7 on our agenda, which is our second open public forum. Anybody wishing to participate in open public forum, please come forward. Second call, third and final call for anybody wishing to participate in open public forum. Seeing no one wishing to testify, we'll close our second open public forum, and we are adjourned for this evening.